The bears are coming in and are having a fight with the bulls. So who's going to win? Hello everyone. This is the weekly market recap and this is Ahmed Saleh. So the key messages for this week. Number one, market was not able to break the all-time high. We said last time that we are at the all-time high. It was not broken, and last week actually the market went down. We had some bad economic news. Trump was also promising more tariff, especially on the auto sector. We had some bad corporate results and some companies were hammered strongly last week. Friday was actually the worst day in 2025. And it looks like that money is shifting to China, EU, and to gold. Now to the details. So actually we had a very bad Friday and we had a very bad week. So last week we had minus 1.7% in the S&P, minus 2.2 in the Nasdaq, and the main lagger was the small cap Russell 2000 was minus 5% almost. February now it turned to a negative month, and the lagger was also the Russell 2000. We were doing good all the week until Friday. So on Friday morning, the University of Michigan did a survey which showed that the one-year inflation is surging higher. So the expectation now for next year is to have the inflation above 4%, which was a very negative news to the market. The next 5 years inflation is above 3%, which is also bad news for the market. We also got after that directly the BMI results, which came at 49.7 versus forecast of 53, which mean that the service sector is shrinking. After that, we got the existing home sales, which was lower than the forecast, and this also had a negative effect on the market on Friday, which resulted in having Friday as the worst day in the current year. And the problem is that there was no rebound. We were always saying that we have seen some resiliency in the market in the last few weeks. Now we have not seen this on Friday. Maybe it will happen next week. Maybe it will not happen. We have to wait and see. But there was no rebound on Friday. We closed at the lowest of the session, which is not normally a good news. So last week we have seen a big drop in momentum stocks. Several companies were hammered very strongly. Mac 7, for example, was down by 3%, and several companies inside the Mac 7 ETF, like Amazon, Tesla, and Meta, was going down by 5 to 6%. Also, VST, Anet, SEG, Crowd, MSTR, all going down by 8%. Jeff, Walmart, 9%, RSL, 9.5%, Duolingo, 10%. So several other companies are getting down very, very strongly. There are several reasons for these companies to go down. So Walmart, for example, announced a very bad outlook for the consumer spending. And this is affecting not only Walmart, but companies that depend on the consumer spending, like RCL, for example. This is a Royal Caribbean cruise that depends on the consumer spending. So they got hammered as well. Palantir was affected by the defense reduction in the budget. They announced that last week. And United Health Group announced that it is under the investigation of the Department of Justice because of some violations, and the stock got hammered. VST, SEG, JEV are all part of the DeepSeek crisis. So it looks like on the DeepSeek, let's spend a minute here. It looks like that the investor and the trader are really taking the DeepSeek crisis very seriously now, because we have seen that several companies are going down beyond the day of the DeepSeek announcement. So we were tracking the DeepSeek companies. They went down because of the announcement of DeepSeek, and they were rebounding back again. But now we have seen majority of them are going down beyond this. And this means that they are really taking the announcement as a very serious one. And it's affecting the spending in the AI sector and in the energy sector as well. So DeepSeek is claiming that the spend is not as huge as expected in both the AI sector and in the energy. MSTR, Hood, and Coin, they got hammered last week very strongly because it looks like the Bitcoin is having a great resistance at the 100,000 and the Bitcoin is not able to cross that resistance. CDNA, SFM, ABB, and ANET all announced results last week. Some of them went down directly, like CVNA, for example, and some of them went up initially and then started to go down again, like ABB. Meta was having good 21 days run, and then it should correct, and that's a normal correction that's happening in Meta. So as you can see, there are several reasons why the companies are going down. What's important is that they are getting hammered. So one thing that you can do here is to keep these companies in your watch list, because the prices of these companies are really good now and they might get hammered more next week. So if this happens, then it's gonna be a good opportunity to buy these companies from the bottom. So just watch out for these companies and the other companies that got hammered really on Friday and last week, and if they got hammered as well next week, because they may be forming a good opportunity to buy again these stocks from the bottom. All right. Moving forward to the chart, we were going very nicely throughout the week. Even on Wednesday, we had the Fed announcing the minutes for the last meeting. The market was going down and then started to go up again. It was going as very normal week. There was nothing fishy going on, but Friday, because of all the bad news that we talked about, we had a very bad day. And actually, it was the worst day since December 18, when the Fed announced the reduction of number of rate cuts in 2025 from 4 to 2. So it was really a very bad day and the worst day this year. What is bad is that there was no rebound at all at the end of the session. So it's not a good sign. Maybe we will continue to go down. And this is actually the base scenario, that we will continue to go down next week. We still need to see that. But if you are in, I suggest that first you go out of the margin, and second, if we continue to go down, then you can reduce your load and even go out of the market and check what will happen in the next few days. Why I'm saying this? Because we didn't have a correction since August. The last major correction was in August. It was about 10%. So it's about 6 months now that we didn't had any major correction. So maybe you are due for one. Also, don't forget that 2023 was a very good year. 2024 was also a very good year. Both of them went up by about 23%. So many analysts are saying that maybe it is the time to go out now. Maybe it's time to look for other markets. And we're going to talk about that in the next few slides. So just watch out for next week. Next week is a very important week. If we continue to go down, then most probably we'll have some correction in the market. Last week, we mentioned that the number of companies above simple moving average was 61%, and 200 was 59%, and we mentioned that the simple moving average 50 is above the simple moving average 200. This is a good sign. This week, these numbers reversed, and we have now the SMA dropping below the SMA 200, and you can see here that the drop is very huge. So we dropped by 10% in 1 week. This is not a good sign at all in the SMA 50, and we dropped by about 5% in the SMA 200. So this is not a very good sign. The number of new highs as well is shrinking, and the number of new lows are getting higher. So this is not a good sign. In terms of the year-to-date performance of the sectors, we have seen that the basic material and healthcare are advancing to number 1 and 2. Communication service went down from number 1 to number 3. That's because of Meta correcting, because Meta is dominant in this sector. Even with the advance with basic material went down from 8.71 to 6.5%. Only health sector was the winner last week. it went up from 4.5% to 5.8%, and the rest was going down. In terms of capitalization, the large sector was leading the market last week at 6.7%. This week we had it at 5.2%. All the rest has went down. So only large sector is doing good. And you can see that the nano sector, the very small companies, are getting hammered the most. So for next week, we have some important events happening. We have NVIDIA results on Wednesday. NVIDIA result is normally affecting the full market because it's giving an impression about how the spending is going to happen. What we are watching for this time is a very important announcement on the DeepSeek, like how the DeepSeek is affecting the spending on the chips and on the artificial intelligence, and if they are still supplying and if they are still having a good demand in the AI. Thursday, we have the GDP announcement, and Friday, we have an important feed in the core PCE. So stay tuned for this because they can affect the market. We also have the continuation of results announcement. So next week we have NVIDIA on Wednesday, as we mentioned, very important. And on the same day we have Salesforce. So watch out for Wednesday. It's gonna be a very important day. And with the other companies, we have Domino's Pizza announcing on Monday before the opening, Zoom announcing on Monday after the close. We have also Home Depot. This is very important because it's affecting the consumer spending as well. Axon on Tuesday and VST on Thursday, Dell on Thursday as well. So as you can see, there are several important companies that are announcing results next week, which can also affect not only the company, but also the sector that the company is announcing in. Last thing on the trading strategy. Still, gold and silver are doing great this year. I have posted another video on how to buy gold and silver because I got some questions on this. So the performance is 10% year to date, and we can still go into the gold and silver. They had a minor correction last week, so if they continue to go up, then it can be a good opportunity. The European stocks are doing great, and I have posted a special video on that. I'll put the link at the end of this video. They can be a great opportunity, especially that they didn't go up that much in the last 2 years. Chinese stocks are still doing good, so you can go into the ETF of KWeb and FXI, or go to individual company like Baba, Bidu, BDD, XBev, and Billy. I think the investors and the trader are moving on. Maybe they lost hope in the US stock market because the US stock market is only doing 2% year to date. Actually, in the last 3 months, they have done nothing. So I think the money is moving to Europe and to China. So maybe there is an opportunity there to go and trade there and invest there. On the US stocks, I think let's take a wait and see approach now. We can buy the dip in these stocks that got hammered last week, so keep them in your watch list as we talked. But other than that, I think let's take a wait and see approach and move some of the funds to China and the European Union stocks, and some to the gold and silver as well. Okay, I think that's it for the trading strategy and for this video. Thank you very much for listening to this video. If you like this video, then please press like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel, and if you have any question, please put it in the comment. If you want any special video on any specific topic, then please put it also in the comment. And just a reminder, this video is for educational purpose only and should not be considered as a financial advice. Any investment you make is at your own risk. Thank you very much, and I wish you a profitable trade.